Hey y'all, all right, as you can see, we're out here in the garage again and working on the Holley. Got it pulled off of the Slant 6, and what I'm going to do is I'm just got some work I got to do to it, just minor little stuff, but I may probably pull one of these float bowls off just to look and see how things are in there because the carb has been sitting. If it looks good, I'm putting it back together and running it. If not, then I will be going through and cleaning everything out. But first of all, I want to say thank you to you all so much because you all have pushed this channel up over 2,800, 2,860, 2,870 something subscribers. It's phenomenal. I'm just floored. I know I say that all the time, but just truly thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. See the channel grow, and this past year in 23 the channel grew way beyond my imagination. So let's just keep it up, shall we? Okay, great. But I also want to say thank you so much to all of you all for the likes and the shares and the subscribes, and we'll just keep on going and keep on doing stuff like this, and maybe even taking on a few new things. Okay. So my goal here is I'm going to clean this carburetor up and then get it back on the Barracuda. And I'm probably going to change out that coil that's on there. I'm a little suspicious of that guy. That coil is not, it's just a stock replacement coil, and it's not very, I just don't trust it. Probably put that yellow one on over there that's on the run stand, that Excel. Try that on there, see how it does. Okay, yeah, this thing's been sleeping for a while, so I'm kind of wanting to get it going and get it going into get it into some sort of state where I can like at least get some use out of it. Put it back on do a little drag racing with it again, maybe. Okay, so we're gonna go and why I'm here, why the carb is here is because this mechanism here, this linkage would stick. Okay, that's the original reason why it's here. It would stick. Now, right now it isn't. So right now it's making a liar out of me. But used to when I would do that, this plunger in here and this arm would just stick, and I would have no way to accelerate it. So that really sucked. So then I had to figure out what's going on. So I went ahead and I ordered a new one of these. Okay. And I ordered a new pump arm here. And so I'm going to change all of this out and get all of this changed out and get it swapped out. Oh, another thing I found after I took the carburetor off is this cap on this vacuum nipple back here. This would be probably like if you have power brakes. My car does not. So that's okay. All right. So anyway, let me get started here and get this thing taken apart. And this thing has been sitting, so I'm thinking there may be some residue in here. I don't know for sure. I mean, nothing's stuck so far, but I'm not holding my breath. Okay, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to take this the rest of the way off and bring you all back. Okay. Okay, so just got it off. I'm not smelling varnish in there. It looks okay. It doesn't look perfect, but it's looking pretty good. I've seen tremendously worse, so I'm not too concerned about that. So here we go. Alrighty. There we are. I'm not going to throw this away, this old accelerator pump. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to hang on to it. So, oh, okay. Now, in order to change out this pump arm, let me show you what's going on there. There's just a clip there on the end of that little shaft that the arm sits on. So just a little C-clip, E-clip, whatever you want to call it. I normally call them E-clips. So just pull that off, rotate it down, and there we go, it comes off. This did have the spring on there, but it was sticking. I put this on there to try and alleviate the problem. And ever since then, I've just been kind of like, it didn't work out too well. I don't know if the cap back there on the back was part of the problem or not. So, anyway, now. Okay, so here's the two arms right there, as you can see. Outside of my modification right here on this one, I think they're pretty much identical. Yeah. Also, anytime you're ordering parts for a Holley, make sure and get your numbers off of there, off the choke horn, okay? If you have one of this style, I think this is the 3310. I'm not absolutely certain. I'm not an expert on the Holley carburetors. I don't know as much about them as I do some of the others, like the Edelbrocks, Carters. This is 600 CFM. Okay. When I was ordering this originally, I was a little more concerned, and I didn't really want to use one that had that carburetor that had that single feed, because I didn't like that transfer tube that shared the gas between the two float bowls. So I was like, I don't like that. So I got this dual line right here. I bent this up myself right here. So anyway, all right. Enough about me. All right, so I'm going to take this line assembly off, and then going to open up one of these float bowls, see how it looks. Be right back. Okay, back, and all of these bolts here were like really loose. It was kind of surprising they were so loose. I'm just basically doing kind of an exploratory kind of thing here. I'm just looking through everything, or most everything. Taking this front float bowl off and see if I can just see anything bad, wrong, or maybe it just needs to be cleaned up in there. So go ahead and just get all these bolts out. Okay. This all looks good. There we go. Doesn't smell real varnishy in here. I mean, just a little bit of varnishy like, but not real bad. So I'm gonna probably just clean this up and put her back together, because it's all looking pretty good from where I'm standing. All right, so I'll probably take these jets out, just shoot some cleaner through there, and shoot some cleaner through the air bleeds. I noticed this venturi right here is a little dirty, so clean all of that up. I'm just going to use like some brake parts cleaner and get that straight, get that thing cleaned out. Nothing. So using this stuff, I don't care what kind of brake parts cleaner it is. Use some safety glasses, because stuff can blow back in your face, and oh my god, boy does that burn. Burns a lot. So yeah, use some sort of eye protection. Ask me how I know. Everything's looking really good in here. So I'm not going to pull the back bolt off. You know what? Might as well, while I'm here, just go ahead and pull it off. Have a look-see in there and make sure everything's okay. And because I mean, you know, I'm down this far, and there's only 4 bolts that holds the thing on, so why not? Oh, we got a little. I'm constantly trying to smell for varnish. I'm smelling old race gas really more than anything else. Yeah, none of these bolts were tremendously tight, but it wasn't leaking either, so you know. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the front bolts, they not only go through the float bowl, but they'll be going through your metering block too. So be sure to keep those two separate. Oops. Well, okay, you're still, yeah, sorry. My selfie stick moved on me. Okay. I mean, it's definitely old gas, but it's not varnished up. I mean, you can see for yourself in there. You know, race gas for the win, huh? So there you go. There it is upside down, so you can see, maybe see the bottom a little bit better. Okay, I'm liking it. Everything's looking really fantastic. Okay, I'm going to be spraying brake parts cleaner through the air bleeds, the vent, the bowl vents, down through here, help clean all of this up. And I'm going to also spray it into where my jets go. So we're gonna See, there's the back portion right there, the carburetor. And just want to get it all cleaned up. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to pause the camera. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. Brought you back to show you the part numbers of the stuff I'm using. Here is the pump lever 20114. 20-114. Okay. And then the accelerator pump diaphragm, it's a Summit Racing. It's a 200252 Summit SUM 200252 30cc. Okay. And of course, this is gas, not alcohol. I thought I'd share those with you. I'm going to go ahead and I've already put the jets in the front. I'm going to go ahead and put the back bowl back on. Make sure you have your little gaskets there on the bolts. If you don't, make sure they're in the bowl. And also make sure that the gaskets are somewhat soft and pliable so that they seal. So anyway, all right, I'm going to do this. Be right back. All right, while I'm tightening these down, I thought, this would be a good time to tell you all about when you're torquing these down, do it in a crisscross pattern. Okay, that way you're torquing it down nice and even on there. It's not like going to be cocked or anything like that. The chances of it leaking is a lot less. Okay. Also, it doesn't need those bolts don't need 500 foot-pounds of torque. Very, very minimal amount of torque. Same goes for the jets up here. I've already put them in. Make sure to use a large tip screwdriver, okay, or one of the jet tools. Okay, they make a driver that fits over this and has a screwdriver, a flat blade screwdriver end in it, but it has this, so it's kind of neat tool. I don't have one. I've always just gotten by without one. It's nice to have one if you got it, but if you don't, large flat blade screwdriver. Oh, another little trick, another little tip. Be sure to clean some of your tools up before you use them. If you've been using them on other things and really dirty and filthy, just take a minute or two, wipe them off, clean them up a little bit. That way you're not taking that dirt and putting it right back on this carburetor, which you don't want dirt in to begin with. Okay, so that's just my little, if you're going through all that trouble to do all of this work, why put yourself in that kind of position with that dirt you're putting right back on that you're trying to clean out? Doesn't make any sense. You're just going around in circles. So, okay. I'm not going to throw the old accelerator pump gasket away, diaphragm away. I'm not going to throw any of that stuff away. I'm just going to hang on to it. Okay. So now we're going to put the accelerator pump diaphragm on. Get all of that here. I'll show you how it just goes on real quick. Very simple. Okay, just goes on like that. Spring under it. There we go. You can, if you want, you can take that diaphragm gasket and you can like soak it in some oil or something like that. I've done that hundreds of times. I haven't done it to this one. It's getting cold out here. I hate the cold weather. Don't like cold weather. I know it's not that cold here compared to where maybe you're at. And it is winter. So, okay. All right, I'm going to run these screws down, and then I'm going to put the float bowl back on this, and I'll bring you right back. Okay? Okay, y'all. Back and fixing to put the float bowl back on. Make sure your float is free to move, no binding. Also, this arm, make sure it was like that. I had to make sure to flip it back over, or you're going to be coming right back and doing this all over again. So don't want that. So, now, you're kind of pushing against the spring in here when you're loading this on here and getting your screws in the right place, everything like that. Bolts. Now you can use power tools on one of these. I wouldn't recommend it because I've heard lots of horror stories of people running these bolts in and stripping everything out. Okay, as you can see, using that crisscross pattern again, just run them down here, torque them down. Doesn't need a whole lot of torque. Just minimal torque. Oh, those blue gaskets you saw, those are the preferred ones if you've got one of these Holley carbs. Older one or newer one, whatever, doesn't matter. Make sure you gaskets that you use are the blue gaskets. They still sell the tan gaskets last time I checked, and those are horrible. I don't like those at all. Okay. All right, this one is ready to go back on the engine, and I'm just going to go and I'm going to scope out a new plug cap for that vacuum port. Yeah, I think it's pretty well, I've got my nickel's worth out of this one. Yeah, that one's pretty well trashed. So, go ahead and put the fuel line back on. Now, a word about these fittings right here on the float bowls for the fuel lines. They are, those fittings are Holley specific. They're just a Holley thing. Okay? Holley only. And they don't. I do not recommend, stripping them out. Because like most part stores don't carry these fittings. I was having a little trouble with that front one. You see the back one, I can just run in there with my fingers, but the front one, it's like, no. I don't want to. Now, I know at the first of the video, I said I was going to revive this Barracuda, this Slant 6 in the Barracuda, and I am. I'm just not doing that this video. That's going to be one of the next later videos. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it. I want to say thank you so much to all of you all for watching. I do appreciate it tremendously. And you all are, my audience, you all are fantastic. And I just want to say thank you. All right, if you have any further questions about this or any other video, you know what to do. Drop them down below. I'll do my very best to answer your questions and respond to your comments as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much, and God bless, and have a great one. And have a great new year.